food group, the academic rotation, and we're very excited to bring you a lovely meal this evening. Just before we begin the presentation, if everyone could take a moment to reflect on where the food you're about to eat has been, the hands that it's passed through, the transport it's taken to get here, the dirt that it came from, before you ingest it. Think about that. So we could take a moment of silence for a minute. There's a poem here that I wrote today about sort of our collective experience in the food rotation. And it's called "For Now They Will Eat." When he looks at his hands and he runs wet fingers down the lines in his palm, tracing the spots that the dishwater has made rigid and white, and he looks at the calluses near the knuckles that smart sharply when he closes his tired hands, he smiles. For he sees those many hungry hordes before him, feet tapping, lips wetting, eyes flitting this way, then that, like so many little ones sitting around the tree envisioning gifts. He closes his eyes, teary from onions, purses his lips, made chapped by the stove, and he lifts up his head to the evening sun, with the briny wind in his face, and he smiles. He holds in his hands, in his skin, in his clothes, all the grime, stench, sweat, sound, and fury of a day behind stoves. But he smiles, for now they will eat, now they will be filled, now they can live well.
Woo!
This week, as all of the groups have done, we explored farm life on Eleuthera, both on land and in sea, and we were, I think, all impressed by the fact that we hear a lot about how hard farming is on Eleuthera, and it is hard. But we saw two instances where it works. And tonight we're going to have a meal grown on this island. And it's a cool thing. And you'd think maybe, well, okay, we have it tonight. That's great. But can it really happen all the time? And I think, and we all think, that eventually it can. So this week we've learned about sustainability, about meeting the needs of the present without compromising the needs of the future. Today we learned a lot about seasonality. And that's eating food that is in tune with the season, with the world around you. And it's a way to eat intimately and to eat well and to ultimately live well. So I think we've encompassed that ideology in the food that you're going to eat tonight. So we'll start with the menu. So first off, our star player this evening is a succulent beef stew, complemented by hearty boiled sweet potatoes. Now the beef is from Edrin's farm. We all know it pretty well now. Within the stew, we have some red onion, some beautiful finger peppers from Bishop Nixon and Wim's Bite, lime juice from limes from Jimmy Wilson, also in Wim's Bite, and some very aromatic rosemary from our own Shade House. Very exciting. The potatoes, the sweet potatoes, we didn't really mess with, because they're beautiful on their own. They're simple, they're rustic, they're delicious. We boiled them, and that's about it. They're rich and hearty. They complement complex flavors of the beef perfectly, we think. And they're from John Francis, also in Wim's Bite.
All right, and for tonight we also have some roasted pumpkin that has a very nice complimentary basil floral sauce. And the pumpkin was grown locally in Deep Creek by Cecil Anderson, who is the father of Cheryl Anderson, who works in the kitchen here. And enjoy.
And for dessert, we have a lovely sapodilli tart with local sapodillis from Bishop Nixon. And the sapodilli is a brown sugary tasting, velvety texture fruit that's about the size of a peach, and has a very nice taste. And the recipe is from our very own Mooch. It's a native recipe, straight from her head, not from a cookbook. And I think you'll enjoy it because it's a part of the Bohemian culture.
We also have a limeade tonight, and the flavorful hand-squeezed limeade that you'll be drinking is traced back to its roots. The water was harvested from rainy days on our campus. The limes come directly from a Lutheran farmer in Wings Bight, Jimmy Wilson.
And we have a vibrant cherry salad dressing. The cherries were hand-picked from Joseph's that we did yesterday. And it has a little bit of lime, which is from here, and some salt.
As you guys all know, the lettuce comes from the aquaponics back in CEI. And so throughout this week, we learned that land gives us the most precious resource we use out of the day. It's food. And so good food gives you health, and it builds that relationship we try to experience in the Island Pool of living well in a place. And so we would like to give thank you to Emery, his sister Dorothy, Tiffany, Joseph, and Moosh, who helped us cook this lovely dinner with us tonight.